Yolanda Adams, open my heart. Hey guys, happy Saturday. I pray everything is well with you guys. I wanted to jump on today. I normally don't get on the weekend. I got some progress reports to do and I got to clean up this office. But I wanted to come on today to have a conversation. So that song was more for me than anybody else. And who am I? I am Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist, educator. I'm sorry. Let me do this again. I am Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist, author, and educator. And like I said, I normally come on Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 10 o'clock. And today I wanted to jump on because I'm all about transparency. You guys know that if you know anything about me. And if this is your first time watching me, I appreciate you. But I'm all about transparency. And as I said, that song, Open My Heart, is for me because how good would I be as a counselor if I'm not willing to open up and have a conversation about myself in terms of, the things that I may need help with or the things that I may be struggling with. And I have found that in my counseling sessions and when I was in the classroom, being able to be open and transparent gave carte blanche to other people to feel comfortable enough to allow themselves to open up. So I wanted to come on because, I posted something last night that I almost took it back to 1990 and was about to allow myself to get angrier than I already was. And I just chose 1990. I probably could have said 1985 and 1984 when I was really out of control. But the one thing that comes with age, or should come with age, is maturity. And you pray that you grow smarter as you grow older. But we're still human. And because we're human, we're going to say and do things that we may regret. Now, hopefully that regret is not so major that it costs you everything. So in my particular case, it was something that I always reflect on anything that I do that I didn't like how it ended, because I want to look at what role I played in it. So last night, bowling, and I'm not going to go through the whole long story. Basically, what happened was while bowling, my partner was bowling somebody else. I'm chirping, what I do when I'm bowling because we're just having some fun. And the thing that I don't like and have never liked, I don't like what I call and what folks on the street call suspect behavior. And what that means is don't act like you're cool with something when everything is cool. And then as soon as it don't go your way, you act different, or now you have an issue with everything that's going on. So I'll fill you in. If you are engaging with me, we're joking, laughing, betting, whatever. And when the scales are even or you're ahead and you're okay with me chirping, don't get upset or be disrespectful when the tables turn and you now start to lose. It's called a sore loser, spoiled sport, whatever you want to call it. Now, when I am chirping, I'm chirping. I'm a trash talker. I'm not going to lie to you. But it's always done in fun. And I'm not sensitive. So, listen, if the tables had turned, I would have lost. I would have ate that and went home. But I'm also a very intelligent man. Very. I'm not being vain. I'm a very intelligent man. So when you are sneak dissing or you're letting little comments come out your mouth, I came up with 20 years in the New York City school system. If there's one thing that I have learned is how to have some very thick skin. So I don't really stress this sneak dissing, because here's how I look at sneak dissing: when somebody is trying to sneak and say something on the low, hoping you don't catch it, or they kind of want you to catch it, but then they got an excuse to say, I didn't say nothing. You see it a lot on social media with these internet gangsters. My whole thing is, if you're going to sneak diss me when you standing right there in my presence, I'm going to call you on it, because I ain't no sucker. And I'm not saying that in an antagonistic or braggadocious way. I'm saying it because I'm not fearful of calling you on behavior, because I want to have a conversation, because you ain't got to sneak this. Talk. Let's go. Let's talk about it. But the thing that I am not is soft, meaning that I'm not scared to have that conversation, because you might get upset. Get upset, you get upset. You want to do something, that's on you. I'm not going to engage you unless you put your hands on me. Thank God it didn't get to that last night. Would not have been pretty. But there's also another factor that I wanted to, one of the reasons why I wanted to come on today. There's also cultural, educational, and sometimes sadly racial differences. Now, everything is not just a matter of skin color. Sometimes it's a matter of the experiences lived because of the skin color. Hear me out, guys. Please hear me on this. Two people can be having a conversation, positive or negative, and two people can be taking two entirely different intakes from said conversation. So when the misunderstanding happens, if it happens, it can be because the two people talking are not landing in the same place. And that's what was going on last night. The person who was doing this, the chirping, the person that said something that was very, I believe, rude, didn't understand what he was saying was rude. And as I'm trying to explain to him that what he was saying was disrespectful, he couldn't understand where I was coming from, because he was so stuck on, I wasn't being disrespectful. Now, please understand this, and I used to say this to students. If a person tells you they are hurting because of what you said, you can't say, I didn't mean it. I was only playing. So what? You cannot just discount what the person is saying and continue, because now you are disregarding what the person said. It's okay that you're going to say things that a person doesn't agree with, or maybe even take offense to. Once they say it, that they took offense to it, you should shut it off at that point. Comedians do it all the time. News people do it all the time. We do it all the time in our families. If a person says, I was hurt by what you said, even if you meant what you said, you should say, well, I'm sorry that you're hurt. I mean, that's how I feel, but I apologize that you were hurt by that. And you don't have to do that. I get it. Some people are going like, I said what I said. I get it. I get it. So last night, there was a racial factor. There was an intellect factor. And there was an ego factor. The gentleman said, I did something that was Pussy, and I don't want to say the words, I'll spell it. And when he said it, I was like, and the funny thing is, he knew it was going to come off the wrong way, because when a person prefaces something with, I know what I'm about to say is offensive, or I know you may not like this, or when you start that off, when anybody tells you, I know this is going to be taken the wrong way, it's going to be. So he said after the match was over, after the bowling was over, he lost money. The other dude that was bowling against my partner lost money. And who do you think had all the money? Now, the person who wasn't bowling, who decided to jump in on the side, thought he would hustle me. If you know me, I know you're laughing. Hustle me. Okay. So when he lost his money, he wanted to act like it was no big deal. Really? Well, I know a hit dog hollers. So after I collected the money, I'm chirping because listen, we're having fun. So I thought. And again, misconception. So when he goes, well, now that the match is over, man, I'm going to say it because I just it just needs to be said. And I'm like, okay, and again, I'm not really paying him any real mind. But then when he said what I did during the match was PUSSY, I said, excuse me, do tell. And as he starts talking, what doesn't make sense is that you were reacting, you were part of it. But after you lose the money, you flip, and then you say, I was PUSSY, bruh. Obviously we come from two different places. And the brother that was standing there, he looked at me because he knew. So now we move from where we are in the bowling alley into the pro shop. And the pro shop is the area where they sell the bowling balls inside the bowling alley. Because I'm like, my man, you really need to watch your mouth. Don't get the counseling, the Christian part of me ever twisted. I'm still a grown man, and I'm a grown man that just doesn't allow things to be said. I would normally walk away. But this was somebody I was doing business with earlier in the day, and we had business that we were supposed to do. So you're not going to disrespect me and think we're going to do business. So I'm trying to explain to him, bruh, I'm not understanding your logic. Where did that comment come from? Because again, I needed to make sense before I'm not going to fly off the handle just to fly off the handle. So then the other brother was like, yeah, but you were talking and you weren't bowling. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Y'all all have an issue with me talking after y'all lose the money, but nobody said nothing at the time. And you were engaged in the activity at the time that I was doing it. But then after it's over, now you have criticism. And then when I said I don't feel like bowl, I said Adam had to go. It's my man's name. Adam had to go because he's bowling today in Maryland, and I had to do a show. So I'm like, nah, we're not staying. And I was very demonstrative with it. Nah, you ain't getting your money back tonight, bro. Pick another night, and I'll think about bringing your money back to you. But right now, it's mine. And the brother's like, oh, come on, man, you can't stay. No, I cannot. Peer pressure's never worked. You're going to take this L. And I said to him, you're going to take this L tonight, but I'll definitely give you a chance to win your money back. I'm a fair dude, but you won't get it tonight. So the guy bowling, 1 second, baby. To the guy bowling, but the guy who wasn't bowling, mouth's still going. So when I said to him, bro, you done said that P line 3 times. Now I'm counting. I've already said to you that's offensive. Why do you keep pushing it? And this is exactly what he said. People say I'm an a-hole. I've even lost customers from it, but I'm going to say what I got to say. So I turned to the brothers. Let me ask you a question. When a man says what he says on the street, how you take that? And you could look in his eyes and he was like, that's kind of disrespectful. I said, oh, kind of, huh? Okay. So now I turn back to the pro shop guy and I'm like, bro, you still don't get it, right? You still don't realize what you're saying, what you're doing. Blank, like, did not care. Like, what? He said, I'm not calling you that. I'm just saying what you did. And I'm like, bro, you don't understand. The two don't get separated. And then I guess he got offended. Was like, well, I don't want to do the work with you. You ain't said nothing but a word. Give me my 2 bowling balls back. We ain't got to do no business. Then the brother that was bowling said, come on, I don't want to see y'all. I don't want to see this spiral down where y'all don't do business together. I said, nah, it's okay, bro. I don't have to give anybody my money who can't understand when I say I'm offended. I've already apologized to you. And I said, if what I was doing on the lane bothered you, I apologize. Won't happen again. He said, no, I'm not saying that. I said, no, you don't have to. I'm saying it to you. If what I did offended you and you had an issue with it, that's okay. It won't happen again. We will not even be in this situation again. Respect that. And when I turned to my man, I said, and for you, I'm going to let you rock because I see you don't understand what's going on. And he still had an issue. So then he goes, so I guess you just want the I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Now I'm like, now you're condescending. Now you better watch your mouth. Because I tried to let you let this go, but you're still chirping. and you're chirping on a line that you don't understand because no one's ever checked you. Now, this is where culturally, educationally, and as I said, racially, things can come into play. Two people can have the same conversation and it be taken totally different because of where those two people are from. Wherever he is from, it is okay for men to degrade men the way he was talking. Where I come from, you offer those words to a man, you need to be ready to be able to have a little something extra with those words. The other brother who looked like me got it. Now, I didn't make it racial because I wasn't going to react just to the race part. But it was the sneak disses that when you put it all together in totality, he even made the comment earlier, I have more money than anybody here. And Tiff looked at me like, how does he know that? So again, arrogance. So I thought about my behavior last night. And I realized that when I'm not in an environment that is conducive to the things that I'm used to or is used to me, it's on me. And so when you look at Proverbs 15:1, right? Proverbs 15:1 says, and I'm reading from the NIV version of the Bible, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. And that is on both sides. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. You know why I read that today? Because I know that. And I used it all the time when I was in school, when working with very angry and very dangerous kids. But last night, I had became or had started to become like one of my former students, like some of my former students with an S. And then the intellectual part kicked in. Bro, shut up. Let this go. So I turned to the brother and I said, my man, I apologize for anything. Sorry for tonight. And I said, you, sir, you take care. We're not going to do business, but you take care. And I'm going to let this go because if we continue this, it's going to go to a very darker place. And I'm not going to allow that to happen. And the brother was like, but come on, bro, y'all don't have to stop doing business. But here, I want you to pay attention to something. The brother said, come on, y'all don't have to start doing business. My man had no problem with the business walking out the door. And that's okay, just like I didn't. And we don't have to do business. And that's another thing, too. Don't ever feel obligated to give anybody your money that you don't feel respects you. Because I asked him that question before I left. I said, can I ask you a question? Businessman to businessman, since you said you had more money than anybody else. If a customer or a client said that something I said was offensive, because I am concerned about bringing value to the client, I would consider what I said. And even if I wasn't 100% sure if I was right or wrong, I would apologize because I don't want to lose the client and I don't want the client to then go out and make it seem like I am unreasonable. And I said, how don't you get that? And this is exactly what he said. People have said, I've lost clients before because they think I'm an a-hole. I don't care. And that sealed it right there. I said, thank you. I'm glad to let me know that. You take care, brother. And that's when he was like, oh, I guess you just want the apology. And that's what I meant by not understanding. And here's the thing. You got to know when to disengage. Now, my wife was there. My wife, I know my wife would not allow or attempted to not allow me, but I wasn't going to allow myself to get to the point that I put my hands on anybody because I have a real thing with words. I don't normally let them get to me. My thing is if you put your hands on me, because as I used to teach, words have no power unless they come from somebody who loves you. Those are the ones that hurt more. The ones that come from somebody you don't know, you laugh. But the reason why it got me last night is because, as I told you before, I hate suspect behavior. Don't engage with me in one aspect, and when it don't go your way, you flip. Oh, I hate that. I really do. Because to me that's real sucker, and I was about to curse, and I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to. But I wanted to be transparent because when like when we were leaving, my wife had drove her car and I had my car, so KL rode with my wife. And I said, no, let KL ride with you because I wanted some time just to meditate going home. And I just thought about it and I said, there's also a cultural difference. A New Yorker and a Delawarean, but he's from North Jersey. And I realized that culturally, he doesn't understand. And that can be dangerous when two cultures clash and they don't understand each other. And that's why I said it's not just a racial thing. There's sometimes folks who look like me, but their culture is different than my culture, and it can clash. And there's a time when you just got to quickly, if you can, and this is why you do not. This is why I read Proverbs 15:1, a gentle answer. And I've taught this. So again, this is me being transparent. I have taught this to other teachers about not taking things that are said personal. I stepped out of that box last night, and I have to apologize for that. And I let myself even get upset because in hindsight, I should have been better in control of me. That it would have never got to that point because I could have just shut it down with silence. One of the greatest weapons ever, one of the most powerful weapons on this planet, is silence. And the reason why it's silent because you don't give anything away when you're silent. You don't give away what you're thinking. You don't give away what you're planning. Silence is one of the most powerful weapons on the planet. And I got away from that. And I'm glad because now that I've had a chance to purge, and I did the show last night, and I noticed that when I went back, and I always look at the replay of every show that we do on Unapologetically Keith every Friday night from 9:30 to 11:30, sometimes much later, is that last night I must have used 4 or 5, no, 2 or 3 curse words. And I went back and I said, you know what? No, that wasn't needed. And my biggest thing for me is, well, in public, I really don't curse at all, but I try to make sure I don't curse at all. That's my own personal thing. I try to limit and make sure I am very cognitive of my use of words. And I definitely make sure I don't curse at all around KL. And she will even say, if she hear me curse, she'll go, daddy language. I go, oh, you're right. So I'm even careful around my daughter because I just don't want her to think certain language is acceptable. Now, certain words have to be used. That's why they're in the English language. And as an author, I do know how certain words can be used. But then I thought about it. I wrote a whole book, Lukewarm Saint, where I didn't use any curse words. And I set out to write the book that way. So I'm big on trying not to use profanity just for the sake of not using it. And that's just me. Now, I am human, and I will use a curse word every now and then. And oh, trust me, I am proficient at the use of profanity, sometimes too proficient. But it didn't sit well with me because I was like, why did I even let myself get there? And it's okay because I'll be back there practicing next week. And when I see him, I'll nod. Good afternoon, sir. Hope everything is well with you. Because me not doing business with you does not mean that I hope you don't get any business. Because the thing that I thought about last night, and I prayed for everybody involved. Let me just say that. I prayed for the brother that I was bowling with, the pro shop owner. I prayed for all of them. I'm going to tell you why I did. With his attitude towards business and the way he handled his business, I know personally other men who, when he would have said what he said, how he said it, would have launched in on him right then and there and wouldn't have cared if they got arrested or whatever. And that was the thing that I used to try to explain to kids. I'm not going to be the one to show you physically. It's not my style. But I pray you don't come across the person who will. And that was my thought when I was leaving last night. If you acknowledge that you're an a-hole and you wear it like a badge of honor, when you're dealing with people in whatever way you feel you can, and you don't understand cultural differences, God help you when you find that person of a different culture who doesn't care like you do. When you find your mirror in another culture, but their life experiences is different than yours. God help you. So I wanted to come on and say that, guys, because things don't sit well in my spirit, and I would not be good at what I do as a crisis specialist if I didn't explain what crisis may look like in my life. And it wasn't a major crisis. I still got the money. I ain't giving that back. You lost that, bro. And I know that you're tight because you lost it. But all the rest wasn't necessary. And I'm bigger than that. And I could have let that go. And another thing, too, is that man might have decided to go further than he needed to go. And now I'm in something that I don't want to be in. And I dread, yes, I do. I dread that I ever have to get into a physical altercation or anything worse. That's why living in a gun state, I refuse to buy a weapon right now. I'm on the fence because Tiff wants me to buy two. And I've thought about it. I'm still on the fence because I don't ever want to have to use that weapon. I've used them in the past illegally. I don't want to have to use it legally, or in this country, use it legally and it be deemed illegally, because by using it, it automatically puts me into a system that I don't want to have no parts of. I don't want no parts of the United States criminal system as a man of color. But I also am big on protecting my family. So like I said, I'm on the fence. But I wanted to share that with you today. I don't know who needed to hear this today. I don't know who this will resonate with. I don't know if this will help anyone, but it was cathartic for me. It was my way of finally putting this to rest, and I'm done with it. I got progress reports and I got work to do and I got people to help. But I just felt like I wanted to be transparent so you could actually understand that, just because I'm a crisis specialist doesn't mean that at times I may not get into crisis. And if you want to go and read the scripture that I gave was Proverbs 15:1. Actually, Proverbs is just fantastic. You should read all of Proverbs. Anyway, great guidance in Proverbs. But Proverbs 15:1, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. And that's true. Very true. Okay. So I want you to have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Have a blessed one. Please be safe. Please put those masks on. It's super important. I don't know what they're doing, how they're doing it. I just don't like the direction that we're going in. And all the people who are not wearing masks, I'm just going to go back to put mine on. And I'm just going to go back to kind of staying near the house. I'll come out the bowl and I'll put my mask on. I got to start practicing with my mask on because I don't know how comfortable that's going to be. But that's what I'll do. And we'll go from there. But please protect yourself. Please be safe. And remember, you control you. No one else controls you. Don't allow somebody else's words to put your life, your situation, your money, or your family in jeopardy. I am Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist, award-winning author, educator, and a man of God who sometimes trips up because he's human. And again, I pray this helps. Have a wonderful day. Come on, Yolanda. Let's go. Now, what if I choose the wrong thing to do? What if I choose the wrong thing to do? I'm so afraid of disappointing you.